In this video, I will show you how to install and use MotionVFX for DaVinci Resolve. I'm Rafael, and welcome to the channel. If you've seen other videos on this channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of MotionVFX for Final Cut Pro. It makes creating so easy and at the same time elevating the look of videos by providing customizable, elegant, and clean animations that are just drag and drop. I'm also a huge fan of how powerful DaVinci Resolve is, but with that power comes great irritability, because trying to use Fusion to create even the simplest animations is like trying to learn a second language. So the MotionVFX ease of use approach to great animations that you'll end up using in every single video is fantastic. And to be clear, this is not a sponsored video, but MotionVFX did send me mTuber 2 to show how it's installed and used in DaVinci Resolve. MotionVFX is cross-platform, and the install and use is very similar on Mac and PC. MotionVFX now has lots of DaVinci Resolve plugins that are ready to be used within the app. Today we're going to talk about mHelloDV and mTuber 2. We're going to install them. So after you purchase them, they show up in your installer, which can be found up in the menu bar. So we're just going to go through the install process for mTuber 2. So as that is installing, put in your password, it installs. And once it's installed, you don't have to do anything else. You just go into DaVinci Resolve, open it up, and create a new project, MotionVFX. So once it's installed, open up DaVinci, and everything's already installed, so you don't have to do anything special. So if you click on the titles, if you're in the cut page, if you click on titles, you're going to be able to see anything that has MotionVFX. This one is mTuber, but it's kind of hard to find a specific one. So if you want to find, say, mHelloDV, these are all the ones that are mHelloDV that are free that you can download right now from MotionVFX, and they give you the basic titles. It's just a nice introduction to be able to help you do some nice stuff. You can also search in the effects for mTuber and see what comes up. There is a zoom effect. Another place to look for these is in the edit tab. Just click on the effects and you can check in titles, and you'll be able to find a lot of this stuff in here. But if you don't find it, just look for mTuber or MotionVFX and they should come up. Now another great thing is, so once you find an effect that you like using over and over again, you can just right click and then add to favorites, and it'll show up down here. So you can quickly, at a glance, no matter where you are, be able to find your favorite effects. So mHelloDV also has a frame, the glass effect, and a loop effect. Let's drag in some footage so we can add in some effects. So I'm just going to find mHelloDV. So I'm just going to add in the avatar for this. And to change the parameters of this, you need to open up the inspector, and everything that you need to do is here. So you have our content controls. This is the content position. Let's just move this over here. And you have all the basic controls that you would have. You can change the scale, the position, the rotation. And for the drop zone, just click browse, and then you should be able to find an image that works for you to add in as your avatar. The same thing can happen here, where you can just scale it up and do what you want to do. And then in the text, change the font, and everything's pretty much straightforward if you're used to using DaVinci Resolve. And then it just comes in and it renders, and just play it back. And there's your free avatar from mHelloDV from MotionVFX. And all the settings are really straightforward. You can have the animate in, but not the animate out. And so when you play it back, it animates in, but doesn't animate out. And one of the beautiful things is you can just extend it to however long you want it to be, and it'll just stay up. Let's take a look at the free MotionVFX plugins with mHelloDV. So that was the avatar. You also have a nice background that you can use. You can put text and titles over top of, or other images. Address bar that you can put in for your website, which is pretty cool. You have a logo. You can animate your logo on a background. And I'm pretty sure you can remove the background, so you can actually change the alpha and have just your logo, which is great. So you can have your logo animating on, off to the side, and you can treat these independently. And a lot of the assets in these can be treated independently. So here's the logo, and we can just move it over as well if that's what we want it to do. So we can have them independent, or you can go into settings and move it as one big block. We're just gonna move it there. And the same thing applies where you can change all the information to your heart's desire. And so the logo, you can bring in your own logo and it'll animate in, which is fantastic. And this is a free plugin for DaVinci Resolve. Like here is the lower third. That would be another way to bring up a title. And then the last one is a title overall. So those are the free titles. I'm just gonna delete them here and let's bring in a frame. So the frame is an effect that you drop on top of your footage. So the effects drop directly onto your footage, and then you go into the effects panel in the inspector. You can change the strength of the blur. And the best thing with these kind of plugins is to just open it up and play around with the settings and see what comes up, see what you like. And the default setting on most of these effects is pretty good, but if you're looking for a very specific style, then it's always great to play with it. You can play with the colors, you can actually tweak it and make it whatever you want, but the whole thing is to be subtle. And then you have the frame controls, and you can even control the text and what it says. So if you want to get rid of the effect, just click the delete filter effect, bam. Gone. Okay, let's try the next one. So this is mHelloDV glass. That just creates a nice little effect. And we're back out. And just change the parameters to suit what you feel works best for you. So I'm just gonna delete that filter. And let's see what the loop does. Now the loop is a photographic term, but again, the same thing applies. You can just add your zoom effect where you see fit. It's just a nice little zoom effect that you could use to highlight a specific area that you want the audience to focus on. So that is mHelloDV. Let's take a look at some of the things for mTuber. So mTuber is probably one of my favorite plugins that I use constantly. They have backgrounds that are great to put images or text over top of. There's so many great little features and little animations that can really enhance your video and really communicate the message that you're trying to communicate. And you don't have to be a graphic designer to try to figure this out. This is all professionally designed and animated, so they all look fantastic. So you can add your socials. It's just a great tool to save you a lot of time, and that's what it's all about. It's about getting the content out faster. It's about getting the video finished and still having those moments in the video to help communicate to your audience, to remind them to subscribe, to like, to where to follow you on the socials, what your website is. And it's just a great tool to have fun with and get your videos done faster. And I've been using them consistently since the beginning of my YouTube channel. I think it's a great investment. You can install it onto 2 computers and use them as much as you want. If anything, it's worth just downloading the mHelloDV for the free assets to use in your DaVinci Resolve projects moving forward, and to entice you a little bit more to perhaps pick up mTuber 2 or other DaVinci Resolve plugins from MotionVFX. MotionVFX is having a little bit of a giveaway right now. All you have to do is comment on this video with MotionVFX, letting them know what you would love to see in MotionVFX in the future. And step 2 is to DM them on Instagram at MotionVFX. Let them know that this is part of the Raphael Ludwig giveaway. Make sure you add your MotionVFX email that you use to sign into MotionVFX to that account. And if you do those 2 things, they will credit you $15 to your MotionVFX account that you can add to any future purchases. So this is a giveaway that anyone that does those 2 steps will get $15. But for now, if you don't have an account, go download mHelloDV for DaVinci Resolve or any of the other free plugins that they have on their site, which some of them are fantastic. And I can't really believe that they're free by how good they are. If you've been following my channel, you know how much I like DaVinci Resolve and how powerful it is, and how you can start doing your content and making your edits for free with a very powerful tool. If you just take the time to learn these tools, you'll understand the fundamentals and the basics of editing and being able to create your own creations. DaVinci Resolve is a free application for you to use on your videos, and now with MotionVFX and mHelloDV, you can start creating your videos with some professional looking graphics. Make sure you give this video a thumb up, and I live stream on my second channel where I deep dive on the creative process as well as freelance financials. So make sure you check that out. As always, fix it in camera and then finesse it in post. Thanks for watching.